So, a participant in one of our 401k plans with more than $1 million in her account called me in a panic to ask if she should roll all of her money into a money market fund. She was rattled by the consequences of the trade war that is now underway. From what she had been hearing, it sounded like the world was going to hell in a handbasket. This is true of any perceived threat to market resilience. In spite of all the wars, depressions, recessions and countless doomsday scenarios that have occurred during the past 100-plus years, the resilience of the human spirit has always prevailed and markets have followed suit, rewarding those who stayed the course. AP photo, Joe Rosenthal. File. At times such as this, I always fall back on Warren Buffett's comment suggesting that we consider all of the catastrophic events that have happened since 1900, when the Dow was at 50. In spite of all the wars, depressions, recessions and countless doomsday scenarios, the resilience of the human spirit has always prevailed and markets have followed suit, rewarding those who stayed the course. Fortunately, goods that involve tariffs involve a very small percentage of our GDP. But what drives stock market values is the behavior of crowds, and it doesn't take many like-minded souls collectively freaking out to trigger a market collapse. Add to this the market's traditional summer doldrums, and the stage is set for potential disappointment. So what? We're all sitting on stock market values that have exceeded what would have been normal expectations. It wouldn't be the end of the world to give back a few arguably unwarranted gains. We can limit the downside by shifting toward bond funds and large-cap funds owning companies that pay dividends, a better option than a flight to cash. As for tariffs, there's an argument for doing away with them completely. Steel tariffs, for example, partially may save 140,000 jobs, assuming that tariffs alone save all these jobs, but this doesn't address the 6.5 million jobs in steel-consuming industries. Agriculture, dairy products, and other commodities are all impacted by tariffs, so it remains to be seen how this will all play out and be reflected in stock market values in the coming months. Ad choice advertising and red invented by Tees. Meanwhile, Veronica Ruggi makes the case in a New York Times opinion piece for dropping all tariffs. Countries with freer trade have higher per capita incomes and productivity growth. Tariffs that protect jobs cost consumers far more than the jobs are worth. If you believe economists and libertarians who agree that tariffs cost more than they are worth, it is comforting to realize that little has been accomplished in Washington on any front. Promised deals that just haven't happened are as follows: healthcare, NAFTA, China, metal imports, Syria, Middle East peace, Pacific trade and climate change, to mention just a few. This dysfunction is preferable when viewed through the Jerry Brown prism of less is more. The saving grace going forward may be that nothing will happen in the way of tariffs if many Republican lawmakers have their way. An acrimonious meeting with Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, left congressional leaders shaking their heads. They complained about what tariffs were doing to the agricultural and manufacturing sectors of their states. Ross was unmoved as he said, "We have no control over what another country does in retaliation." No kidding. It might have been wise to consider that reality before setting in motion a force over which we have no control. The stock market seems to have second-guessed the outcome in recent days as companies such as Harley-Davidson have determined that they need to move production overseas to avoid a tariff that will add $2,000 to their sales price. The stock just dropped by around 6%. Overall, the markets are beginning to respond to the uncertainty. With more to come, an administration consumed by its own self-interest will undoubtedly back off and flounder around some more as it searches for a path of minimum regret, an approach that antagonizes the smallest number of voters. The uninformed ideology of this administration's economic experts should reveal its limitations before much damage is done. In the meantime, we wait. Steve Butler is the CEO and founder of Pension Dynamics Company LLC. To read past columns and learn more about his book, visit www.pensiondynamics.com and click on Resources. Steve can be reached at 925-956-0505 228 or Butler at pensiondynamics.com. 80 Quality Auto 360p 720p 1080p. You might also like 1 o'clock how Toshiba uses technology to shape a better world. Toshiba APAC average cost of hiring an expat in Singapore fell last. Business Times 020 You can order the Sausage McMuffin with egg all day. McDonald's Maybank posts record Q1 profit on lower expenses. Business Times 8 Tapestry for growth in income. Asians global investors do not buy Bitcoin. This Singapore crypto expert, Ace Pro Academy sentence in campus sex case blasted, did judge think? MercuryNews.com Olivia Nova dies, latest in string of porn star deaths. MercuryNews.com A car crash killed a newlywed in 1973. Now police say. MercuryNews.com recommended by